The early morning air was cold and still as a military aircraft slowly descended onto the runway. A thin layer of fog hovered over the ground, muting the sounds of the airport. Standing near the restricted zone was Captain Daniel Reeves, motionless and composed. As the plane came to a stop, the cargo door slowly opened. Two uniformed soldiers appeared, carefully carrying a coffin draped in the American flag. Everything around them seemed to pause. Daniel straightened and raised his hand in a firm salute. His face remained calm, but his eyes carried a quiet weight. This wasn't just another mission. This was personal. As the soldiers walked past him, Daniel turned and followed, his gaze fixed on the flag. He wasn't just escorting a fallen soldier. He was keeping a promise. Gunfire echoed through the shattered streets of a distant war zone. Daniel and Sergeant Marcus Cole took cover behind a broken wall, breathing heavily as bullets struck nearby. Marcus let out a faint laugh despite the danger. "If I don't make it, tell my mom I was brave." Daniel shook his head immediately. "You're going to tell her yourself." Marcus looked at him, more serious now. "Promise me, you'll take me home." Daniel hesitated for a split second, then nodded. "I promise." Moments later, an explosion tore through the air. Everything went silent. Back at the base, Daniel stood in front of a senior officer. "You've been selected to escort Sergeant Marcus Cole back home," the officer said. Daniel's jaw tightened slightly. "Understood." The officer softened his tone. "He saved 12 lives." Daniel nodded slowly. "I know." He picked up the folder and walked out without another word. This wasn't just an order. It was a responsibility he had already accepted. The airport was alive with noise, announcements, footsteps, conversations. But as the coffin entered the terminal, everything began to change. People noticed. Some stopped walking. Others removed their hats. A quiet respect spread through the crowd. Daniel walked beside the coffin, focused and steady. For a moment, it felt like the world understood, until someone interrupted. A sharply dressed airline staff member approached quickly. "Sir, you can't bring that through here without clearance." Daniel stopped. "This is a fallen soldier." The staff member remained firm. "Sir, all remains must go through cargo processing." Daniel's expression hardened. "He is not cargo." The tone shifted instantly. People nearby started paying attention. Something wasn't right. The tension in the air grew heavier. "I'm just following procedure," the staff member insisted. Daniel stepped closer, his voice calm but firm. "And I'm honoring a promise." The staff member crossed their arms. "You're delaying operations." Daniel looked directly at them. This man gave his life for others. He deserves respect. The crowd fell silent. Eyes were now fixed on the scene. Daniel moved in front of the coffin. "You will not move him." A woman from the crowd stepped forward. "Let him pass." Another voice followed. "Show some respect." One by one, people stood behind Daniel. Not loudly, but firmly. The situation had changed. This was no longer just a rule. It was about honor. An airport manager arrived. "What's going on?" After hearing both sides, he turned to Daniel. "May I see your documents?" Daniel handed them over. The manager read carefully, then froze. His expression shifted. He looked at the staff member. "Do you know who this is?" Silence. "He saved 12 lives and didn't make it back." The words hit hard. Everything changed in that moment. The staff member lowered their gaze. "I'm sorry, sir." Daniel didn't react immediately. He gently placed his hand on the coffin. "He just needs to go home." The manager nodded. "Clear the way." This time, people stepped aside with respect. No hesitation. No resistance. Only silence. On the runway, the plane stood ready. The pilot stepped forward and saluted. "Permission to carry a hero, Captain." Daniel nodded. The coffin was carried on board with honor. Inside, Daniel sat beside it. He placed his hand on the flag. "I told you. I'd bring you home." The plane lifted into the sky. Above the clouds. Where promises are kept,